Hello everyone, welcome to Lit Studio by Karishma. So today we are going to talk about Claude Lévi-Strauss. He's a very main proponent in the theory of structuralism. In structuralism, as of now, we have covered Fernand de Saussure and Vladimir Prout, and I suggest you to watch those videos before you come across this. Alright, now let's jump right into the video. Claude Lévi-Strauss is a famous French social anthropologist. Okay, now what is anthropology? Anthropology is actually a science which studies the origin and social relations of human beings. All right, and Claude Lévi-Strauss is a social anthropologist and he belongs to France. His contribution significantly impacted not only anthropology but also in other fields like philosophy, religion, comparative literature and film, and few of his contributions we are going to learn in this video. Alright, now we'll jump on to his works. The first work he has written is The Elementary Structure of Kinship. Alright, please do remember his works because the questions asked by NET exam would be identify the books in the following which was written by Claude Lévi-Strauss. It could be that, or it could be given to match the following books with the author. Alright, so I suggest you to kindly remember the names of the books. Not every one of his books are important, but the books I mentioned in this video are quite important, so make sure you take them down in your notes and revise them. Alright, so his first book is The Elementary Structures of Kinship. It was written in the year, it was published in the year 1949. It is one of the first works of Strauss, and here he explored the underlying structures of kinship systems across different structures. First, you have to understand what kinship is. Kinship is a bond between families which are related by blood. All right, here we talk about our family, our relatives and everything. There are kin. All right, so kinship is the bond between families and the people with the other people who are related to you by blood. All right, so that is what kinship means. And Strauss in the work Elementary Structures of Kinship studied the underlying structures of kinship. All right, one of his important concepts was kinship, and here he gave the structures that he analyzed through this study. All right, and in this work he also laid the groundwork for his structural approach, emphasizing the importance of analyzing cultural systems in terms of their social and formal relationships. All right, I hope this is clear as of now, and it would be much clearer when we discuss about his concept called kinship. All right, the second and most important work is Structural Anthropology. In fact, this is the work which has marked his place in the theory of structuralism. All right, Structural Anthropology, it is published in the year 1958. In fact, there has been a question in NET examination where you have to identify the book based on its author. It is Structural Anthropology, which is correctly identified with Claude Lévi-Strauss. Alright, it was published in the year 1958. And I also mentioned what anthropology means. It studies the origin and social relations of human beings. Strauss outlined his methodological approach to anthropology by drawing parallels between the study of societies and languages. In this particular work, what Strauss did was he studied the methodological approach to anthropology, and with this study he actually was able to draw parallels between the study of society and the study of languages. All right, there were universal patterns to everything, and Claude Lévi-Strauss was successful in drawing those parallels between the society and languages. All right, and here he also argued cultural phenomena could be understood through their structural relationships, mirroring the way linguists analyze language. All right, so here he means that we can understand a cultural phenomena with an understanding towards the structural relationships, because it mirrors the structural relationships mirrors the way linguists analyze language, right? And third work is published in the year 1962, and here he discusses the cognitive processes underlying cultural practices. All right, the work is Savage Mind. All right, mind is related to cognition, so the Savage Mind discusses cognitive process underlying cultural practices. The fourth work is Mythologics. It was a series published from 1964 to 1971. It comprises of 4 volumes, and Strauss, it is considered as magnum opus by Strauss on the study of myths. I've told you an important concept given by him is kinship. Another important concept given by him is myth. All right, myth and kinship are very important concepts given by Claude Lévi-Strauss. Here, in this work, Mythologics, he demonstrates his structuralist approach to interpreting logic and underlying structures of myth across different cultures. All right, he studied myths across different cultures, and he identified the logic and the underlying structures behind them. All right, just as Vladimir Propp studied the folklore of different cultures, Claude Lévi-Strauss's approach is towards myth. All right, I think the works are clear. The 4 works important written by Claude Lévi-Strauss are The Elementary Structures of Kinship, Structural Anthropology, The Savage Mind, and Mythologics. Got it? Claude Lévi-Strauss viewed cultures as systems of communication and constructed models based on structural linguistics, information theory, and cybernetics to interpret them. All right, and then his structural anthropology sought to unify experiences of cultural groups living in highly variable contexts and systems recognizing all people as fundamentally equal regardless of culture, ethnicity, or other socially constructed categories. In his work, The Structural Anthropology, we have discussed that he outlined an approach to studying societies and languages by drawing parallels between them, right? And he also argued that the structural relationship is quite similar to the way that linguists approach or analyze a language, right? And he, through this structural anthropology, he also says that cultural groups and their experiences unify them. All right, and his structural approach actually tried to unify the experiences of cultural groups living in highly variable contexts. For example, if they live in different places where they get to experience different things on day-to-day life, those experiences of the set cultural group would be very different. All right, and systems recognizing all people as fundamentally equal regardless of culture, ethnicity, or other socially constructed categories. What he tries to say here is that, for example, if I am an Indian, was put into Britain or something, and I was made to amalgamate into the people there, and I was made to live the life of those people. All right, then Strauss says that there wouldn't be any differences because all people are fundamentally equal, and the way they go on with their lives is actually dependent on the experiences they face, but not the thought process, because all the people are built the same. All right, and now we move on to his concepts. His important concept is binary opposition. I've dealt with binary opposition in the introductory video of structuralism in a detailed way, so please make sure you watch that video. But here I'll debrief it. Here what Strauss says that we understand the world only when in binary opposition. All right, he says that, for example, you only understand male because there is female. You only understand light because of the experience of darkness. All right, actually the idea of binary opposition comes from linguistics. Death versus life, good versus evil, light versus dark, everything is actually understood with the quality that is opposite to it. All right, that is what binary opposition means. And then we move on to his other concept, which is myth and kinship. Kinship is how we organize our relationships to people who are related by blood. All right, according to Strauss, the myths of whole world is connected together. That is what he means. For example, the Trojan War of Greek mythology is quite similar to the Mahabharata of Indian mythology. And here Achilles, whose weak spot is his feet, would be compared to the character of Karna in Mahabharata, who has Kavach Kundal and which protect him, and without them he goes to war and he dies. All right, that is the similarities drawn between myths of different countries. In fact, there are quite many similarities between Bible and Bhagavad Gita or Quran and many of such religious texts. All right, so the myths of the whole world are quite similar. The structure, if you observe the structures of the myths, they're quite similar. No one would be propagating that the entire religion would, all the religions are similar, but the structure of the religious text would be similar, and also the truth that they are trying to propel is also similar. All right, and now myth and kinship, according to Strauss, is common across different cultures. That's what we've discussed about. There are certain needs, like the need for progress that drives the culture, so it follows a common structure. For example, across different cultures, if you observe, you might be a British person, you might be an American person, you might be an Indian, but the society you belong to would always be driven by the need for progress. All right, also there would be many such needs which are common across different groups, so that is common across different cultures. So myth and kinship is also quite similar to this idea. That is what Strauss says. Now, I hope you understood everything that we've dealt in this video. I have made the screen smaller so you can understand everything, and make sure you note the important points in your class notes or whatever. Yeah. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you.